Welcome to Monday, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Humphrey. We have rain moving through the metro area for our afternoon commute and a rainy night ahead. What happens to temperatures? When is this rain out of here? We'll talk about that in your full weather forecast on the way.
Also, first at 4, President-elect Donald Trump officially wins Michigan's electoral votes, but will there be a recount? But up first, chaos on campus. Police describe a bizarre attack at Ohio State. We are live with updates on the victims and the latest in the investigation. Paula.
Hi, Karen. We're also live at Oakland University, where keeping students safe from attacks is a high priority, but students have to engage to do their part. These stories and much more are happening right now on Local 4 First at 4.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
First at 4, a campus under attack. Students and faculty told to run, hide, fight.
It's scary. It was really scary. We barricaded ourselves in our rooms like we were taught.
Good afternoon. It is both sad and very disturbing. We obviously need training now to survive attacks on colleges, campuses, but the need is all too real. Today, an attack at Ohio State University in Columbus, and we have breaking news coverage. Paula Tutman looks at safety procedures at a local university, but first, we go to Rod Maloney. He is in Columbus at the hour. Rod, what's the latest?
Well, Karen, it's a somber mood here on the Ohio State University campus. You know, they were excited about the game just on Saturday, and yet today it is all gone. Quiet as you can imagine out here. Look behind me here. This is Watt Hall, where the attack happened. If you look to the left of the building, that's 19th Street. And the attack actually happened in between these two buildings that you see here down 19th Street. And in fact, it is a rather frightening scenario that we're being told about here today. NBC News is saying an 18-year-old Somali a Somali Ohio State University student by the name of Abdul Arten is the one whom they are saying, police are telling them, was the attacker in this. A very strange situation. At 9:52 a.m., we are told there was a call of a car hitting people coming out of buildings here on the campus. As a matter of fact, it's believed that there was a fire drill pulled. Now, whether the alleged attacker did that or not is uncertain at this point. But he then started hitting students with the car, then got out of the car and started swinging a butcher knife at people and hitting people. One very critically injured. We're told also that perhaps there was a professor, an Ohio State University professor, who was cut in the leg. But it was only 1 minute away, a minute later, that an Ohio State University police officer showed up on the scene and shot the suspect dead right where he stood. Now, there we have an interview with a young student by the name of Schneider. Michael, I'm sorry, I want to make sure I get his name correct. It's Martin Schneider, Oakland University, Ohio State University student, who was very emotional, very upset after having witnessed the attack.
I was seated on a planter. There's a crowd of people in front of me, and then the crowd of people starts panicking. I hear like an engine revving, and then the car comes, flying through the crowd and hits a couple of students. Yeah, he came out of the car and he ran after a student with a knife, tried to swing at them. I didn't actually see him stab him. I fled at that point.
And so now the Ohio State University is holding a news conference about this entire situation. We want to hear what they have to say, so we'll go straight to that news conference just a few blocks away.
The individual was neutralized by our officer. The original victims were struck by the car at approximately 9:52 this morning. The officer encountered the individual by 9:53, and the subject was neutralized by 9:53. At 9:55, a campus alert went out for people on campus to shelter in place, first to exit and avoid the circumstances or the place where this all happened, so they learned where it was and were told to run and hide and get away from the circumstances as we've trained for in desktops and other exercises. They did that. They got to secure places, and then forces from a variety of local law enforcement from our campus community, from our city, and from the state joined us together, and the FBI joined together on campus to sweep the campus to make sure that there was no further threat. And then approximately 90 minutes later, the buildings were released. I have here with me the people who were directly on the scene. and they'll speak in a moment. I just wanted to say that first I had a chance to speak with the officer who was the first responder and to thank him for following his training and being able to neutralize the circumstances within roughly 1 minute. And also I was able to visit 3 of the people who were injured who are here in the hospital to let them know how much we are praying and supporting them in coming to a complete and speedy recovery. The ones who were here in the hospital were in good spirits. I note that a couple of the people are having more work done, and I think that Dr. Thomas can give you updates on that. But our thoughts and prayers are with them, and we are pleased that no one was more seriously injured, and look for them all to recover completely.
All right, there is the news conference here just blocks away from where we're standing from the Ohio State University, giving the update on the situation out here. There is much more to talk about, and if you'd like to see the rest of that press conference, we're going to live stream it on clickondetroit.com. But coming up on Local 4 News at 5 and again at 6, we're going to talk to some Ohio State University students, find out their reaction to this. Where were they when this happened, and what were they seeing? We'll have all of that and more ahead on Local 4 News at 5. So for now, Rod Maloney reporting live from Columbus, Local 4.
All right, Rod, we'll check back with you a little later this evening. Meantime, schools all over Metro Detroit do go through training to deal with any kind of attack on campus. They work hard to notify students of danger and teach them exactly how to respond. Our Paula Tutman joins us now from Oakland University to show us what that training looks like. Paula.
Well, first of all, it's important to know that all of the universities we contacted, local universities we contacted today, take this stuff very, very seriously. We happen to know about Oakland University because we've worked with them before with their active shooter training. As you can see, this is campus police headquarters, and Big Brother and Big Sister are watching. In June, we got a chance to watch how they train their students.
Yep, just keep stacking. Good.
This is what active shooter training looks like at Oakland University.
What is your plan? It's to do something to save your life.
We actually profiled their program this June with campus police, and it was eye-opening as an officer playing bad guy with a gun headed for our classroom.
As soon as he clears this entrance, you're throwing everything and you're going. Remember, throw and go? Remember that. Throw and go, because you've got to get your hands on them.
This is just one of the tools used by the university, including its mass alert notification system.
You can go online, and that way you can get full text messages in case of anything happens here on campus, and that way every student is aware of the situation.
Both tools are valuable to have, and while the active shooter training, done several times a year, is optional, today, given what happened on the campus of Ohio State, there was a suggestion that this kind of training become mandatory during freshman orientation, because while it is called active shooter training, in essence, it is active attack training, whether an assailant is wielding a gun, a knife, or anything, because what the history of these kinds of attackers has taught the experts is a person willing to die for their cause, in essence, becomes the most dangerous weapon there is.
Typically, active shooter incidents, the duration of them are about 7 to 9 minutes in length. The importance of knowing what to do during that time frame is vitally important.
And so there are basics that can save a life.
Your survival rate increases tremendously if you're going to fight back than just stand there or freeze and hope that he doesn't pick you as a target.
In a classroom, in a mall, in a workplace, or anywhere an attack can happen.
We're getting ready to fight. We all know what we're going to do. Good. Much better. Much better. Much, much better. We know that many active shooter situations are suicide missions, and that they are looking for as many victims as quickly as possible because they know they have a short window of time to do their damage.
Hey guys, this is really, really scary stuff, but it's important to know you have to have a plan before you need a plan. Also important to say that these are just some of the cameras on campus. All of them, whether or not they're visible to the dispatch person here, are being recorded, and so they can actually rewind, so they can get people into place. If they see something happening, they can call on a camera. But here's the key, Karen. In order for this stuff to work, you have to engage. Students and faculty have to engage. They have to take the active shooter training. They have to be a part of the emergency, the emergency notification system. The emergency notification system, in order for it to work, we will have more on that aspect of the story today at 6. Karen.
All right, we look forward to that. Thank you very much. Paula Tutman reporting live this afternoon. In our first forecast, we're looking at a rainy night. We could get soaked, and Andrew Humphrey is in for Ben Bailey this afternoon. So what are we looking at?
Well, Karen, we're looking at the rain funneling through the area right now. Some of it on the light side, what you see here in green. The darker green and yellow spots that you see here, though, that's where the rain is heavier. Watch out for ponding on roadways. We still have some of those places, either low-lying or poor drainage, where it fills up pretty quickly. In Shelby Township, we're getting some of that heavier rain. Same thing in Romeo. Big area of yellow right here, indicating moderate or slightly heavy rain also for our friends in Howell and along 96. More moisture down to our south, too, through parts of northwest Ohio, yet to move through the area. The good news is, the silver lining is, we have temperatures nowhere near freezing, well into the 40s, from 43 in Adrian to 47 in our north zone in Lapeer. And it stays this mild, relatively speaking, as we go through the rest of the evening. So no concerns about frozen precipitation. Watch out for wet conditions and conditions where it's tough to see. You can see visibility is affected as well. Visibility down to 3 miles over at the airport, but less than 3 miles in parts of Macomb County. So it's tough to see, and it's slick out there. So we need to be careful for our afternoon and evening commute. We'll talk more about tonight and what's ahead for the next 7 days coming right up.
Well, just when you thought the 2016 presidential election was finally over and done, at least one recount is about to begin. And could Michigan be next? Devin Scillian is tracking the latest developments in the newsroom on this. Devin.
Well, Karen, no one is really expecting these recounts to change the outcome of the presidential election, but Green Party candidate Jill Stein is eyeing recounts now in 3 battleground states, and that does include Michigan. Today, the state of Wisconsin says a recount is going to begin on December 1st. State officials say it has to be completed in less than 2 weeks after that.
It is going to be a very tight and aggressive time frame, and it is going to require election officials throughout the state to work extended hours during the week and work over the weekend as well.
Now, here in Michigan, the State Board of Canvassers has certified that Donald Trump has won our state's 16 electoral votes. There is a 48-hour window starting now, to formally request the recount. Stein expected to make that request on Wednesday of this week. President-elect Trump beat Hillary Clinton in Michigan by nearly 11,000 votes, but that's the closest of all of the state totals. Stein is also targeting Pennsylvania and says today voters in more than 100 precincts filed requests for a recount there. Pennsylvania law requires 3 voters in each precinct to submit an affidavit requesting a recount. Now, Hillary Clinton's campaign says it is monitoring developments in all 3 states. Meanwhile, the president-elect says the recount efforts are ridiculous. We'll continue to follow it, of course. Karen, back to you.
Just when we thought perhaps it was over.
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much, Devin. We appreciate it. Coming up first at 4, avoiding holiday scammers. Many of you give to charities this time of year. I'm going to share some simple steps that can protect your money. And tornado caught on tape. People breathing a sigh of relief after this twister blew through town. We'll be right back. Check out this tornado over in Nebraska. It touched down Sunday afternoon in the small farm town in southern Nebraska, and that's where the tornado knocked over a farm, several irrigation systems, and a number of power lines. Fortunately, no homes were damaged and no one was hurt. Those tornado catchers, they got it on video, as they always do.
And fortunately, as you said, over mostly open fields.
Right, which is good.
Yeah.
All right, so what's up for tonight?
Well, we have wet weather continuing as we go through the rest of this afternoon, Karen. So many folks out there returning home from work or maybe doing some shopping, yeah, you can expect temperatures to remain in the 40s. In your 4-zone weather, guess what? Temperatures stay in the 40s as we go into the overnight hours. Earlier this evening, we had temperatures that were actually in the 30s earlier this morning. But around the area right now, we're mainly seeing rain move through, and fortunately, temperatures are above freezing. That is certainly some good news. It's good news because obviously if we had temperatures that were below freezing, we'd be talking about ice or snow, but we're not going to be doing that. Temperatures will stay in these warmer 40s as we go through the rest of the evening, thankfully. Right now, as you can see, we have cloudy skies over downtown Detroit. We have temperatures mostly ranging from the low 40s to the middle and upper 40s across the entire area. But it promises to be wet as we go through the rest of the afternoon. And there's still some of those areas, as you know, where you get those puddles and ponds on roadways. So watch out for some of those. If you see any high standing water, make sure you find an alternate route. We don't want folks to get stuck. We've got 44 degrees right now here over at Metro Airport. Same thing here in the city, over at City Airport. 40s all around, including to our north. In fact, temperatures a little bit higher, around 47 degrees around K-Pac Peck and Emmett. Now it's getting a bit windier out there also. If it was trash day today or if it is tomorrow, make sure those trash items, make sure they're all fixed and make sure they're secure and basically stay to the ground, because there's a good chance of them blowing away, because it also gets windier as we go into tomorrow. Look at these temps down to our south. You can see 49 in Chicago, that's to our west, but Indianapolis near 50 degrees, over 50 degrees in St. Louis. That warmer weather is on the way, but the wet weather is going to move through as well. You can see these batches of yellow right here, including these areas of dark yellow. Some of the rain will be heavy at times as we go through the rest of the afternoon and into tonight. But there's a big dry slot with this big storm. Lots of snow farther to our north and west across Canada, maybe in places like the northern plains. But it promises to be warmer tomorrow, but it will be on the windy side, with winds anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour. But those winds are coming out of the south. So those temperatures I showed you that were higher, spring-like, that's on the way for tomorrow, with high temperatures mostly in the upper 50s to near 60 degrees. Then right behind it, of course, we've got a cold front. It is that time of year, so it does get chillier, but it remains seasonable as we go through the rest of this week and really head to the 1st of December on Thursday. So temperatures staying in the middle 40s overnight, even upper 40s by tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, a high temperature of 59 degrees, partly to mostly sunny skies, and it will be on the windy side with winds anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now we'll have some scattered showers on Wednesday as that cold front gets closer and moves through Karen, getting a little bit cooler on Wednesday, 54, but the chillier air moves in for Thursday, Friday, and our weekend. Notice those seasonable temps, 40s for highs and near freezing for lows. Back over to you.
Andrew, the annual Goodfellows newspaper sale kicked off this morning, selling commemorative newspapers for a good cause. The Goodfellows raise money to provide holiday gift packages for more than 30,000 children in need. If you could not buy a paper today, you can always make a donation at the Goodfellows website. You're about to see one of the most unusual pizza delivery ideas really in the world. It looks like a giant pizza chain is borrowing an idea from Santa Claus himself. But at first, after a weekend of shopping, it is time to focus on giving back. But don't let scammers play the Grinch during the holiday season. How to protect your money, coming up next.
Hi, Dana.
The top trending story today, no surprise, we're talking about Cyber Monday. Many of you have probably been searching for savings all day. Well, analysts predict shoppers will spend about $3.36 billion online just today. If you haven't shopped already, experts also say don't worry, there will be more deals to come. You can check websites like doorbusters2016.com to help you find the best discounts. Now, after all of that shopping, perhaps you might want to think about giving to charity. Tomorrow is known as Giving Tuesday, but don't forget to be careful before you donate. The Help Me Hank Consumer Unit says be wary of fake charities with names that sound like the real thing. Check the name of the charity very carefully. If someone calls for a donation right away, that could be a red flag. Legitimate charities will let you do some research if you want. And also, make sure the charity is registered with the IRS if you plan to take that tax deduction. You can find more advice on the Help Me Hank page at clickondetroit.com. Okay, this is really surprising. I actually was quite surprised myself. Domino's Pizza testing a new delivery system over in northern Japan for this upcoming winter. Believe it or not, the company is actually considering delivering pizzas with reindeer. Domino's is testing 2 different delivery systems by either putting pizza boxes on the reindeer's backs or having the reindeer pull a sled like that one on your screen there. Well, along with the pizzas, the reindeer will also be equipped with GPS devices so customers can track the location of the pizza they ordered. They think of everything, don't they? We'll be right back with an update on the attack at Ohio State. We've been monitoring a news conference that's been going on the past few minutes. We'll have the very latest information coming up. It's an attack that often goes unnoticed, hidden behind closed doors, and it can get more violent each time it happens.
We want to try to break that cycle.
We're talking about domestic violence. Now, police have a tool to help identify victims before the situation turns deadly.
Clients are saying, you know, you've changed my life, you've saved my life, I would have never been able to do this without you.
A Local 4 Defender's special report, what first responders are doing to help victims get out before it's too late. Tonight at 11. We are learning more about the man who attacked people on the Ohio State campus earlier today. 18-year-old Abdul Artan is the suspect in the attack. He is an Ohio State student who is of Somalian descent. Police say he used a car registered to a family member to hit people. He then started slashing them with a butcher knife. Police shot and then killed him. He was a legal resident who lived in the area. Investigators are still trying to figure out his motive. 9 people remain in the hospital recovering from their wounds at this hour. Rod Maloney is live in Columbus and will have a live report for us at 5 and 6 o'clock with the latest on the investigation. Meantime, we are tracking some rain tonight that could affect your plans or perhaps your drive home.
That's right, Karen. It is a soggy commute as we go through the rest of the afternoon. You can see more rain pouring in from the south. It all stays liquid, everybody. I know it's that time of year we get concerned about frozen precipitation, but rain continues across the area this evening.
All right, thanks for joining us. Inside Edition is next.